Day 2 of the trial. We're going to move right into defense. Are you ready to call your first witness?
Yes. I'd like to call Jeff Skilling to the stand.
Jeff, would you please come forward? Go ahead and swear in Mr. Skilling.
Please raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth and the whole heart truth.
Yes.
You see the
Timer, good. Okay. All right.
Can you state your name for the court?
Jeff Skilling.
And what was your position at Enron?
I was COO in 1997, and I was CEO from February to August in 2001.
Can you recall if there's anything that you were doing while CEO of Enron that did not comply with the law?
Not that I was aware of or facilitated.
Okay, can you explain your understanding of mark-to-market accounting and why it was used?
Market-to-market accounting is a legitimate form of accounting that everybody all over the U.S. uses. And it's just a way to keep track of your innovative ideas.
Okay, and were you the only person focused on these accounting principles within the company?
We had people that we hired in the accounting department, financial department, and they also looked at those.
Did you, as CEO, rely on the professional opinions of outside auditors and staff?
That's why we hired them. We used them to keep us in check and just to make sure we were doing everything ethically and legally.
And you're referring to such as Enron's chief finance officer and outside auditors like Arthur Anderson?
Yes, we trusted that he would do his job or they would do their job professionally.
When you made public statements about Enron's financial health, did you genuinely believe the information you were sharing was accurate and based on reports from your finance and accounting teams?
I gave the reports with information that was given to me by my financial team, so I trusted that they did their job right.
And so what actions did you take when the financial concerns came to your attention?
I reviewed them, but then I would give them to my financial team because we hired them and they're professionals and experts, and so we trusted that they would solve those issues.
Okay, and did you personally gain from Enron's collapse in any way?
Absolutely not. I lost everything, I lost my reputation, and honestly I think it's due to some of the incompetence from my subordinates.
No further questions.
Would you care to cross-examine?
Good morning, Mr. Skilling.
Good morning.
So, would you say the culture at Enron was promoted hostility?
No, I think it was highly competitive, and we just like to have fun there.
Okay. And you personally reviewed Enron's financial statements before they were released, yes?
Personally, yeah, but I trusted that our financial team did their jobs and gave me accurate information that was provided.
Okay. And as CEO, would you not be ultimately responsible for these financial statements?
Yes, I am.
Okay. You also approved the use of market-to-market accounting for long-term energy contracts?
Yes.
Okay. And with market-to-market accounting, Enron could appear profitable even though even when no actual cash had been earned.
That could be a possibility, but that was not my expertise in the department, so.
So you're
I
saying
trusted
it is
my
possible that
financial team.
Enron could have hid debt in these, in such things as LJM?
I only knew what the information that was given to me, and for LJM, that would be a more Andy Pascal question.
Okay. No further questions.
Care to redirect? All right, Mr. Skilling, maybe seated.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. See you on the golf course this weekend. Right. Good job. Good. All right, I'd like to call your second witness.
I'd like to call Jerry.
Sorry,
Oh,
the
sorry.
court would like to get an update on the times first. Bailiff, Hager here.
Fair.
Defense was 17. I don't recognize it. Sorry.
Plaintiff was 1848.
We're doing jury Bill, if you wanna close the door just so that,
Sir,
thank you. All right, good job on first witness, both sides. Let's go ahead and, call our second witness.
I'd like to call Jerry Arnold to the stand.
Please swear Jerry in, Bill.
please raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, and the whole hard truth. You may be seated.
Can you please, introduce yourself and explain your professional background for the
My
board?
name is Sherry Arnold, I'm a county US.
Okay, and, what experience do you have with financial regulations?
I have GAAP, SEC rules, and compliance issues.
Okay, and what about corporate accounting practices?
I've advised major companies, reports, controls, and compliance, complex accounting structures.
Do I have permission to approach the witness?
Yes, you may.
You.
Thank you.
Okay, can you please explain to me what I just gave you?
These are a list of companies from mark to mark.
Okay, and, can you explain what mark-to-market accounting is?
Mark to market, it records assets and can charge market value rather than historical cost.
Okay, and can you describe the accounting regulations applied to Enron at the time?
They followed SEC's, GAAP and, SPE guidelines for derivatives.
Okay, and, were these regulations complex or difficult?
Kid counsel, can I interrupt you? Are we gonna do, if you think you've had foundation laid, do you wanna, we're gonna move to enter this into evidence so we can get a copy to the jury and see if there's any objections? Or do you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you, are there objections to this particular exhibit?
I mean, you can't really object at all.
That's an objection there. Let's go ahead and, get that. You wanna take a look? I'm gonna give the council a minute here to look it over. No objections? Okay, this is marked as Exhibit F. We'll go ahead and publish this and give a copy to the jury. You can keep that there.
Am I gonna continue?
Yeah, go ahead. Okay.
So were these regulations complex or difficult to interpret?
Yes, they were highly technical and interpretation.
Do these regulations allow SPEs to be used lawfully?
Yes, SPEs are legal.
Okay, and why would companies like Enron use SPEs?
To manage risk financially.
And did your investigation reveal unmistakable proof of fraud? No? Okay. Are the financial and energy sectors similar to Enron's methods?
Objection.
There we go. All right, what do we got?
Meeting.
We're getting some leading questions here, council. I appreciate it if you, maybe didn't lead the witness to the answer a little bit and, maybe rephrase some of these questions.
Okay. So Enron's methods what were they like in the finance and energy sectors of their company?
They did nothing outside the ordinary.
Okay. No more questions, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. We like to cross.
Mr. Arnold? So, would you say that you observed the Enron's entire financial statements throughout beginning to the end?
Yes.
And, would you say that anybody had obstructed certain financial documents from your viewing?
Objection, Ida Scope, she's an expert on the accounting principles overall, not on Enron's exact accounting.
Could you repeat the question for me so I can hear the context?
Was your view blocked from any financial documents pertaining to Enron, essentially this question?
Okay, what, you may be heard. What's your response to the objection?
I don't see how this is out of scope. I mean, the financial analysis should be able to view Enron's documents, and I'm just looking for confirmation on that.
I'll allow it. Overruled.
Did you get blocked from viewing any Enron documents that pertain to anything financial?
I'm not an executive or a trader or a whistleblower, so.
And did anything stand out to you, pertaining to Enron's financial documents? Okay, no further questions.
Before you be seated, is there gonna be a redirect? No, you may be seated. Thank you, Mr. Arnold. You may call your, let's get time update.
Defense is 1355. Plaintiff is 1727.
So let's call your third witness.
I'd like to call Ken Lay to the stand.
Hey, Caleb, you wanna?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Give me 1 second, sir. I'm a little.
Just raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, and the whole heart truth.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Can you state your name?
My name is Kenneth Lay. I'm the CEO and founder of Enron.
Okay, and how large was Enron at its peak in terms of employees?
Enron at its peak was about 21 to 25,000, give or take a few thousand employees.
And who did you rely on for accounting expertise?
Well, I relied that on my team. We had a certified board of executives that were in charge of the books, making sure that everything was up to standards and according to the guidelines of the government.
And did you review every financial transaction personally yourself?
If I had to review every single transaction personally, there wouldn't have been time to make money. There would have been time to make Enron the company that it is now. That's why I entrusted it to my team.
Okay, and were there any indications that Mr. Fastow or anyone else was engaging in this misconduct?
Not that I know of. Most of it was under wraps until the press got to it.
And why did you begin selling stocks moments before the company declared bankruptcy?
Well, I'm just trying to do my job, sir. I'm a businessman. You know, knowing business, you gotta make sure that there's an inflow of money. You know, there has to be that trade in stock to make sure that the economy is well up to date.
And how much stock did you sell?
At around 60 million to give others the opportunity to be able to enter into the Enron investment.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Right, would you like to, have a go at him?
Morning, Mr. Lay. So, were you aware of material off-balance sheet obligations or contingent liabilities that were not disclosed to investors?
I wasn't aware of it because my team was the one who was running the books.
Okay. And you sold significant amounts of company stock options shortly before the company's collapse. At the time of those sales, did you possess any non-public information concerning the company's pending losses?
No, it wasn't until I saw in the newspaper that we were going under fire.
Convenient timing then, huh? So, were you aware that Enron used off-balance sheet entities to hide company debt from investors?
Look, if I had to push my nose into every single thing that is done under my company, I'd be nowhere to where I am right now. That's why I entrusted it into my team. You see, there's a level of trust built in between a team whenever you build a business. But if this continues, that is not my responsibility.
So was that can you answer the question, was that no?
No. Okay, cool. Did Sharon Watkins ever warn you internally that the company's accounting practices were misleading to the investors?
She kept going around and around talking about something, but she never got to the point, so I thought it was something minuscule.
So did she ever send a memo to you?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. When you publicly stated that Enron's financial health was strong, did you know that these statements were not consistent with internal data?
No.
Do you agree that investors relied on companies' financial statements when deciding to buy Enron stock?
Can you repeat the question?
Do do you agree that investors relied on the company's financial statements when they bought your stock?
Well, how am I supposed to know that if I'm not in charge of finances?
Okay, but were you in charge of promoting the company as owner?
I'm just the PR, you know, my face is everywhere, I have to be,
So did you tell people to buy stock when the financial?
I never told,
Non-responsive.
Yeah, please answer the questions. Thank you.
So, do you agree that investors relied on the company's financial statements when deciding to buy Enron stock?
I promoted, but I never forced them by hand to buy Enron stock.
Okay. And as CEO, did you have a duty to ensure that Enron's financial reports were accurate and truthful?
That's what my team is for.
No, but you as the owner, were you responsible?
I can look at it, but I'm no expert.
Objection, non-responsive.
He's already kind of answered, and I think we'll keep that in the record. I think it'll be fine. Good job, care to redirect? No? Kenny boy, you may have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
1219 for defense.
Order. Would you care to call your last witness?
I'd like to call Luke By the stand.
Hey. Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, and the whole hard truth?
I do.
Thank you. Proceed.
Swear yourself in the
Hey. Where's mine?
Can you state your name for the court?
My name is Luke By.
And can you explain the scale and complexity of Enron's energy services and how much information is moved through the organization daily?
EES, known as Enron Energy Services, was a very high and complex system. We had a lot of information coming in to the corporation at all times. It was very hard for one person to know exactly how much was coming in and what was all going on.
And how long have you been selling or exercising Enron's stock prior to 2001?
I mean, this should answer right here. I've been doing it for a while. Everything's been under, by the law. I've just been exercising as I should in form of compensation.
Okay, and were your stock sales part of a long-term, consistent pattern rather than a sudden decision?
Objection.
Yeah, sustained, need to reword that.
Okay. What were your stock sales and what was the pattern rather than a sudden decision?
My pattern was about as even as you can.
Objection.
Overruled.
I've been selling my stocks for a while. None of it was very urgent or sudden. Throughout my track record, I had sold at specific times when I felt was right to gain as much capital as I could.
And at the time you sold the shares, what was your understanding of Enron's overall financial conditions?
I believe that Enron was strong. Just like any business, you're going to have difficulties. Enron was going to have their difficulties at some point, but I believe that we could get through it. We were a very strong corporation. We were very tightly knit, and we had a lot of good competitiveness within our services.
Can you describe whether you had any reason to believe that Enron's stock prices would collapse?
Absolutely not. I believe we were strong.
And how did you view the performance and prospects of Enron's energy services at the time you departed?
Very well. We were very strong. I decided to leave on my own terms, Enron was doing fine. I knew handing it off to the right people, it was in strong hands and we'd be fine.
And, did you believe you were acting in full compliance with both corporate policies and federal security laws when you carried out your stock transactions? Voted yes.
Objection, leading.
You know, it's a good try, but, I'm gonna allow this one. I would like to know the answer to it too, so we'll overrule.
As I'll say it again, yes, I do believe that I complied with that, with every law and regulation.
And, permission, Your Honor, to approach the witness?
Yes, you may. On this one, let's make sure after he identifies it and you lay the foundation, we move to get it submitted to evidence.
Okay, and, Mr. Luke, can you, describe what this is for me?
Yes, this is some wording on, my divorce that I had. It shows that, after I had left Enron, after I had cashed out the stocks, that, a large portion of what I had earned would go to the divorce settlement, that would go to my ex-wife.
Okay, and, can I have this, added to evidence?
Are there objections by opposing counsel? We'll go ahead and publish this in evidence as exhibit
I put it D.
D,
B.
as in
Boy.
Buffalo.
Okay, and, am I good?
Yes.
Could you describe, the reasoning for your leaving Enron in the mid-2001?
My leaving was due to personal decisions that I had made in my life that had affected me and my family. So I decided it was best to just step down so I would not hinder any abilities by Enron by bringing in my own personal matters.
And, looking back at it, what was your intention regarding your stock transactions and your overall role at Enron?
My stock transactions, just like every other person that owns stock, is to try to make money off your stock. You don't wanna buy the stock and lose money off of it, that's not what we're here for. And for Enron, I wanted to help create one of the best businesses that we could, and I believe that we did that.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Chair Cross?
Mr. Pye, you left the company and sold a large portion of your Enron holdings before the collapse. When you made those decisions, did you base them on any internal non-public information regarding the company's deteriorating financial conditions?
I did not, I did it because with the divorce that I had coming up, I knew a large portion of my money would have to go to my ex-wife, so that's why I did that.
Okay. During your tenure heading Enron subsidiaries, Enron Energy Services, you reported profits, although later the unit revealed significant losses. Did you ever report these losses to the board or audit committee?
I did not, that was due to our team to be able to do that, it was outside financial people who were supposed to be doing that for us. We trusted in them and they were the ones who were supposed to be showing any either profits or deficits that we had.
But were you at the head of Enron Energy Services?
I was, but that does not mean that I'm going through every single piece of evidence and every piece of paper.
How do you justify or prove the profit figure from the aforementioned reports?
Depends on how you say justify, please explain.
How'd you come up with it?
Oh, what?
The profit?
I would not come up with profits, that would be off of the financial advisors and the outside sources. They're the ones putting that together.
Did you use company resources such as aircraft travel and entertainment expenses during your time at Enron?
Objection, relevance.
Care to be heard on that one?
I'm looking to see if there was any misuse of company property.
We're not looking at company property, the case is over, accounting principles and things of that sort.
This has to do with accounting principles because if somebody misuses company property, that's misusing funds.
I wanna see where it goes. We'll allow it.
Wanted to see where it goes, the plane did go up whenever I was taken, but no, I would use the plane offices as they were for.
So you wouldn't say that it was the excessive use of company property?
I would not, no.
Okay. Did you disclose these expenses to the board or obtain board approval or submit them for internal audit review?
There were some, but I do not need to report everything that I do with them. No.
Odd. Did you consider these travel things business appropriate?
Travel things. What
Travel
things?
expense-
I
travel
could, I could
expenses,
take
sorry.
shampoo on it, I could take shampoo for a travel thing,
Sorry,
I
not
could take a
travel things.
toothbrush, floss, gotta make that smile look good.
Did you consider these travels business appropriate?
Yes.
Okay. No further questions.
Care to redirect? Alright, you may be seated, Mr. Pie.
Oh my gosh, we still have closing.
Final times?
Defense was 7:11.
At this time, I will give each side a couple minutes to update their closing statements if they wish.
Start throwing papers.
Just did a better job with objections, yeah, did a good job across.
Hard, lower, right here. You see Luke Pie. Luke Pie. You see, there's a parable in the Bible that my father used to say. And the parable talks about money, and no one had to invest. Some people used a lot of money and made a lot of money. Some people just dug it in the dirt and left it. Make money.
Mr. Lay.
I apologize, sir.
Are you guys closing? I can't do that. Are you guys good at closing statements?
Yeah.
Okay, so, plaintiff gives their closing statement first. We will get its own time on that. You may go ahead and deliver your closing statements.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this case comes down to one simple idea: trust and how the defendants at Enron chose to break it. We all believe the company was honorable, stable, and transparent. But throughout this trial, we have shown that behind the scenes, Enron was hiding losses, manipulating numbers, and misleading everybody that depended on them. Think about what you have heard from these defense witnesses. They admitted that they did not see everything, they did not hear everything, and they relied only on memory. Some had personal ties to the defendants, their stories changed, their details didn't match, and they filled in gaps with assumptions rather than facts. This is not a reliable testimony. Now compare that to our evidence. Like that. Ask yourselves this: if Enron had nothing to hide, why disguise losses? Why alter records? Why rely on witnesses who can't clearly explain what happened? The answer is simple: because the truth supports the victims, not Enron. Today, you have the power to hold Enron accountable. You can show that deception has consequences, and that people who trusted this company deserve justice. Stand with the people who lost thousands. Stand with what is right. Thank you.
How are we with time on that?
20 minutes and 3 minutes.
We're good? Okay. Alright, go ahead.
Over the past 2 days, you've heard a lot about Enron. About accounting rules, business decisions, and a company that grew fast and fell even harder. But when you take a step back, this case really comes down to one question. Did Jeff Skilling and Ken Lay intentionally try to deceive anyone? And based on everything we've heard, the answer is clearly no. We learned that Enron was using accounting methods that were legal and widely accepted at the time. Mark-to-market accounting and SPEs weren't secret tricks. They were tools used by major companies all across the country. Even experts admitted these rules were complicated and confusing, and that people were often disagreed on how they should work. And then there's Andy Fastow. He created the SPEs. He controlled them. He personally made millions off them. He keeps things hidden and builds a system so complex that even he struggles to explain it today. If the CFO, the person in charge of these structures, couldn't keep them straight, how could Skilling and Lay have known what was going on underneath them? Jeff Skilling depended on accountants and auditors just like any CEO would. He acted on the information he was given, and when Enron collapsed, he lost everything. That's not the behavior of someone trying to pull off a scam. Ken Lay was leading a company of almost 25,000 people. His job wasn't to dig through accounting spreadsheets and check every transaction. He trusted the experts around him, the people hired to do exactly that, and nothing in this trial showed he intended to mislead anyone. Yes, people inside the company had concerns. Yes, things went wrong, but not one witness showed you actual proof of Skilling or Lay knowingly committing fraud. Concerns aren't evidence, mistakes aren't crimes, and hindsight doesn't make someone guilty. The prosecution had the burden to prove intent beyond a reasonable doubt. They didn't do that. They couldn't do that. And without that proof, the law is clear. Thank you.
Are we on time? Yep. We're good? Alright, both good. Alright, in a few moments, I'm gonna have the bailiff lead the jury out into the deliberation hallway. I ask that the jury work through the rubric together and come up with, score it as a team, one rubric, and then have a score for each side. Bailiff will update me, I'll come back out in a little bit to tell you how you'll announce the winner. Get ordered, please. Go ahead, bailiff, and leave them out.
Restroom.
Oh, yeah? Will foreman please rise? Have you reached a verdict?
Yes, we have, Your Honor.
What is your verdict?
The jury has come to a conclusion in the case of Enron of 130 to 100. The defense team, Enron, has won.
Booyah!